Yeah. What up, good people, and welcome to another episode of Keep It Thorough, where we give you the real behind business, health, money, and self development, and introduce engaging concepts to help you elevate your performance in all areas of life. I'm your host, Cedric Lavelle, joined by my counterpart, E Double.
Yes, sir. It's your boy E Double, and we coming at y'all season 3, episode 108. And the title of this episode is Act Now, Thrive Later. Moving towards your future self. So a self-development episode. We got some gems for y'all. And as always, be sure to check out the website, keepitthorough.com/kits, and check out the kit that corresponds to this episode. And, follow us on all the social media platforms. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on, wherever you podcast. And without further ado, I'm going to let Sid do what he do. Let's kick this thing off, bro.
All right, I know it's a cool little intro. Um, so here's the real man. So it's it's in our moments of decision that our destiny can be shaped. And with every decision that we make, it has an impact to change our future self. So when we speak about acting now to thrive later, it's really about taking the deliberate action, being aware of your actions, being intentional with your actions, and doing things that your future self will appreciate. I mean, there's always these sayings about, what would your future self think uh, with the actions or the things that you're doing now, and I think it's imperative for everybody to be very aware, very conscious, very again intentional about your actions and what they contribute to, because a lot of times, due to circumstances, due to environment, and due to so many different things, you can do things that are not conducive to what your future self will be. And I think it's impactful, and it's very important that for everyone, whatever goal that you have, whatever dream that you have, whatever your vision is, whatever your aspirations are, however you see your life in the next 5 to 10 years, that you start doing the things now that your future self will appreciate. Because you don't want to get yourself in a position, and the saying goes, is stay ready so you don't have to get ready. If you do all the things that are necessary now, as if you were in that position, just imagine the progress and the strides that you would have taken before that opportunity even gets here and it's official. You know what I'm saying? And so I think it's important that you put yourself in that mindset right now where you are, and telling yourself, even though I'm not at the place that I want to be, I'm going to do everything that I need to do now to make the changes, to make the adjustments, to get myself in a position mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, economically, whatever the case may be, get myself in a position so when that opportunity comes and when it presents itself, I'll be ready.
Absolutely, man. And I'm sure we've all heard um, this saying, or maybe even said it ourselves, like, we need to work on ourselves, right? Or we need to build ourselves, right? And when you talk about like working on yourself or building yourself, typically, or not even typically, I would say all the time, it requires you to take certain actions, right? So, right now, this section, right, we're gonna talk about the architecture of action, right? So, in life, every action we take is very similar to an architect, like constructing, designing, or building um, out, a building, right? So think of yourself or your future self as that design on the architect's canvas, so to speak, right?
Right.
Our actions of today, right, lay the foundation for the person we aspire to become. So that design that you're creating, what you look at on that piece of paper, that's who you're aspiring to be, right? So, each choice, from our morning routine to how we treat and interact with others, all of those contributes a brick to constructing our future selves. So the architecture of action operates on the concept of compound interest and self improvement. So, like, what are you doing consistently to improve yourself? And if 1% better every day. I'm sure a lot of people have heard that saying, right? So, 1% better every day over the course of 365 days, the compound interest of that leads to a significant change, right? Like
Right.
from day to day, it might not seem that great, but when you look back over 365 days, when you look back over 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, that leads to significant change, right? So no matter how small each initial step is, they all add to a holistic stairway to our goals, right? Or they all lead, I should say, to a holistic stairway to our goals. And this pathway, may come with its share of setbacks and detours, but our envisioned destination remains attainable with an attitude towards embracing change, adaptation, and an empowered mindset. Everything is about mindset,
Absolutely.
everything, and that's really where it starts with your mindset. It continues with your mindset, and as you see success or overcome challenges, it strengthens your mindset. But you just have to stay focused, right, and embrace that change. Be willing to adapt. We talk about you know making pivots and adapting and making adjustments, and constantly doing having checkpoints, and reevaluating things. But all of those things lead to a much more clearer vision, and a much more empowered mindset that'll help you continue to be a better version of yourself in the future.
That's good stuff, man. And one thing that I think really um, correlates to everything that you just just mentioned is having the desire to be proactive, like having this desire to really take necessary steps, not being reactive and allowing situations to consume you or get the best of you, but really being on offense, really making these, again, these deliberate steps and chartering this path where you're continuously being proactive and understanding that what you do has this significant effect on how you see and how you can live your future. And if you're wanting to experience different, if you're wanting to experience change, if you're wanting to have a different perspective and outlook on life, everything involves being proactive. What steps are you taking? What moves are you making? What changes are you implementing in your day to day? What mindset are you taking into your day where you're feeling that what you're wanting to do can be accomplished, right? And three pillars of proactive action would include just planning and prioritizing, consistency and commitment, and then just reflection and growth, right? And so when it comes to planning and prioritizing, it's really just having the forethought and deliberate planning and using that to serve as a navigational device as you journey towards becoming your future self, putting plans in place and prioritizing those things, taking your actions to ensure that you invest your energy into what is going to yield ultimate returns. And that's big. Like, you have to understand, like, if these actions that you are putting forth aren't beneficial to your future self, why are you even doing them? Right? Like, what it is, and I say this as a personal statement for myself that I really focus on, but is it beneficial? Is it offering me any value? Is it putting me in a position where I can thrive, where I can build my family, where I can build my business, where I can see the success of others? Is this helpful to me? Is this adding any value? If the answer is no, and you can answer no to that question, you shouldn't even be doing it. it's pointless because it doesn't net you any type of gains. And so you have to understand that aspect when it comes to planning and prioritizing. And then with consistency and commitment, the magic lies in repeated productive actions and doing those things consistently, right? And if you're wanting to see any type of success, if you're wanting to make any type of progress towards achieving anything, you have to make certain that you're being consistent and that you're staying committed because both of those things work in tandem. They work hand in hand. If you want to be committed to something, you have to show consistency. If you want to show consistency, you're going to have a certain level of commitment to whatever it is that you're wanting to do and whatever it is that you're wanting to achieve. And when those habits are formed, that's how you can sustain the momentum that you need that's going to take you into your future self. That's going to allow you to see those gains in the future that is going to enable you to be the person that you've always desired to be. And then the last thing with reflection and growth is having those regular moments of introspection and the willingness to adapt and help yourself refine your actions to serve a goal or a dream or a vision. And with reflection and growth, is really taking that time to assess your day, evaluate everything that you do in a day, understand what works for you and what doesn't work, and not allow yourself to continue to do things that aren't consistent with who it is that you're wanting to become, right? Because again, if it's not beneficial for you, if it's not netting you any type of gains, if it's not adding any value to you or to the situation, you're wasting your time. And with when it comes to time, that's a precious commodity. Like we don't have time to waste. In my
Most
mind,
valuable
it,
asset.
it's the most valuable asset, and everything everything has to be done with a sense of urgency, right? And there can be um well, I guess you could say well structured urgency, but you really want to make certain that you're putting forth all the needed energy and time to bettering yourself, putting yourself in a position to thrive, to grow, to become the best version of yourself, to experience that 1% better every day. That doesn't happen if you're not reflecting on your day, on the things that transpired, on what's helping you, what's hurting you, because you're going to continue to go through this cycle daily and wonder, like, why am I not seeing any type of progress? Why am I not moving forward? Why do I not see the things happening in my life that I see happening in everybody else's life? Right. So you have to take that time to reflect and grow. So again, three pillars of proactive action: plan and prioritize, be consistent and stay committed, and then reflect and grow.
Hey, so to pick up on that, right? Those pillars are very, very important. And I think it takes the word proactive and puts a little bit more behind them, like more actionable type tasks behind them, right? But to go back in on that word proactive, let's like break that down, right? So think about things like growing and cultivating a garden, right? If you want to grow a tree, you can do one of two things, right? You can go and buy a young tree, and plant it in the ground and water it, fertilize it, and it can grow up. Or if you want to, really, do it from scratch, you plant a seed. And when you first get that seed, it's nothing, right? You might put it in a little paper towel with some water, get it to germinate. Then you plant that thing. You don't see anything for I don't know, maybe a week, couple weeks. You continue to
Right.
water it, fertilize it. Then once it pops up from the ground, you get excited and you realize, that's like a little small reward for your work, but you still aren't where you need to be though. There's a ways to go before that tree is gonna grow. Say it's a lemon tree, and it's going to actually grow lemons, right? So with that whole thought process, um, let's kind of make an analogy about like a marathon runner, and about taking proactive steps towards the end result, right? So consider the journey of like a marathon runner, right? Say a person is going to run a marathon in the Olympics. Their decision to enter a marathon happens now, right? You already made a decision. Like says that marathon runner said, decide right now, I'm going to run in this marathon, right? So the decision happens right now, but the actual race and the finish line and the glory attached to that is months, sometimes even years ahead,
Yeah.
like you got to wow before you can actually accomplish and achieve that. So, in the meantime, the runner's going to go through extreme training. They're going to make a whole bunch of sacrifices. They're going to endure some aches, exhaustion, and they're going to give up some of their quick comforts, some of their luxuries. They're going to have to make some sacrifices, right?
Yeah.
And then, the actual race day is a culmination of the dedicated hours of training and practice. And as the runner moves past that finish line, he reaps the benefits of acting now and thriving later. Right. So all that work, you made that decision up front. And maybe in your mind you kind of seen what it looked like, but you had to put that work in for it to manifest, right? And you knew that if you slacked, that the chances of you know, reaping no rewards or winning that race, or whatever your goal is. Maybe your goal wasn't to win, maybe your goal was to finish top 5, maybe it's your first one, whatever that goal was. You had to put the necessary work in, but you acted now to thrive later. So, just as the runner decides to enter a marathon and set their sights on the distant finish line, we set goals for our future selves, recognizing that achieving them lies in the future. So, that's the parallel. So, the preparation period for the runner, filled with the rigorous training, the sacrifices, and overcome physical and mental challenges, is akin to the consistent effort, learning, and personal development we undertake to grow and achieve our aspirations, right? So, say you want to start a business, say you want to go back to school, say you want to, I don't know, say you working towards a promotion, whatever your goal is, your training, right, is that preparation period. That time
Yeah.
in between when you decided to take action or decided that you wanted to do this and take action until the time where you actually achieve that goal. That's that preparation period. That's that, you got to get ready. And the triumphant moments of crossing the marathon's finish line is our realization of our future self, right? So showcasing the fruits of perseverance, discipline, and the power of acting in the present to create the desired future. So again, to go back to the beginning of this, and the three pillars of proactive action, right? It all starts with being proactive. No, very rarely, well, let's just keep it real. Even in situations of luck, there was a little bit of proactive nature, right? Like if
Oh yeah,
you
you got to do
just
something.
so happened to win the lottery, you still had to go buy the ticket.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you had to make your mind up that you was gonna go take your money, go take the money out the ATM, or you was gonna go up to this store and you was gonna buy the ticket. It required an action. You know what I mean? It required you to be proactive. You can't just sit on the couch and win the lottery. It requires some steps. You know what I'm saying? Now that's
Yeah.
getting lucky, and most people will never ever get lucky. The chances of winning the lottery is slim to none. Now your chances of being success can be extremely high if you put the work in. If you take those proactive steps, right? If you plant that seed and continue to water it, right? If you decide you want to run that race and you start training, you know, you got to just set your eyes on the prize, And when they say like tunnel vision, you got to be tunnel vision and focused on, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. Make sure it aligns with your purpose,
Yeah.
with your life. And don't be chasing after other people's dreams, because it's not going to net you much and you're going to burn out and be depressed. So make sure it aligns with your purpose, but make sure you plant that seed and you continue to water.
That's big. And one thing, a couple of things that you said that I feel have to be reiterated. Obviously, action. Got to take action. Next thing is required a decision. You got to make a decision. What it is that you want to do. And are you willing to do that? Do whatever it is that's necessary, do whatever it is that it's going to take to get you to the end and get to the finish line of wherever we want to go. And I believe that to get from aspiration to achievement, it requires a decision and it requires action. And you have to do those things. And in order for any dream to be fulfilled, you got to be purposeful. And I think with purpose, again, something interesting about purpose, and E, you kind of alluded to it, and I'll expound on it just real quick. Having a purpose statement for your life, and we've talked about this before in recent episodes. Having a purpose statement for your life. What is your purpose statement? What is the mission for your life? Can you identify in wording what your mission is and what it is that you wanted to complete and fulfill? If you can do that, all the distractions that come with trying to achieve something, you eliminate those. They're gone because anything that comes up to you, whether it involves using your time, whether it involves pursuing something, you're going to ask yourself, does this align with my mission statement or my purpose statement for my life? Is this something that I feel is going to contribute to what it is that I want to manifest and bring forth? And what that does, it brings clarity, and clarity brings power. And when you have that power, I feel like you can become invincible. You're
Yeah, it
unstoppable.
makes it very easy to say no.
It makes it very easy to say no. And that's a key thing right there, too. It makes it easy to say no. If you want to say no to certain things, be able to identify what your mission and your purpose is in life. And then you can say, nope, that's not going to work for me. So I ain't going to do it. So that's super big. Now, the next thing with that is having the pathway to the future. What's the necessary steps that you need to take? What are certain things that you can do that's going to be able to put you in a position to thrive and to be successful? And I'm gonna give you 5 quick things, and then we're gonna close this thing out with E. But one thing that you're gonna want to do, define your destination. Where is it that you want to go? Have a clear vision on what you want to accomplish and who you desire to become. And then that vision is going to allow you to have somewhat of a guide towards purpose driven tasks. You know, everything that you do is going to be purpose driven because it aligns with your purpose. So you're willing to do it. The next thing is going to be creating a roadmap. And again, we talk about this as well too. If you want to get to any destination, you're going to have some sort of direction. You don't get to any destination if you don't have direction. If you want to get to Minneapolis, Minnesota, you're going to have some sort of roadmap on how it is that you're going to get there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never been out there, but I know it's cold. He can give you all the details on that. But if you want to get out there, you got to have a roadmap on what it is that you want to do. Write it down, go step by step, plan it out in detail, and whatever you intend to do that. Make the decision to get it
Hey, the
done.
fact that you said Minneapolis correct, bro, I'm gonna just salute you, right? Because they be out here Minneapolis and shit. They be butchering it. So I'm gonna
Hey, messing it up, bro. Hey
salute.
man, I didn't know you long enough, man. So I at least know how to be able to say that correctly. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
But the
sir.
next thing is just build on small victories, right? So that was a small victory right there because I said it right. You know, what I'm saying? I said it correctly. So let's build on that victory. But you want to break down your ultimate goals into smaller, achievable tasks. Celebrate each victory, no matter how small it is, because those are meaningful steps towards your envisioned self. And I say slow progress is better than no progress. If you're making any type of positive stride towards what it is that you want to do and what you want to fulfill and what you want to achieve, you're in a good position. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's an inch, whether it's a 5 inches, 2 inches, a foot, so on and so forth. Make some sort of positive stride towards what you wanted to achieve, and it just compounds over time. You know what I'm saying? It may take 2 years, it may take 3 years, it may take 4 years, it may take 1 month, 2 months, who knows? But as long as you're doing something that's going to produce positive results, in the end, you can rest assured that you're going to see some sort of positive outcome. Next thing is just having cultivating a growth mindset, and as E had alluded to earlier, mindset is everything. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have the right mindset going into a situation, you're preparing yourself to lose. You have to have the right mindset, and you have to have a growth mindset. And with the growth mindset, what that does is allows you to embrace learning and resist the fear of failure. Because when you see each failure as a lesson, every mistake has an opportunity for improvement. You know what I'm saying? And so we don't, the only L's that we acknowledge over here are lessons. We don't know
Lessons.
anything about no losses. What is that? That's unfamiliar to us. We talk about lessons. We go through an experience, whether it was an obstacle, whether it was a setback. We look at those things as lessons to learn from and strategies that we can produce in our toolkit that's going to allow us to be equipped to build something better. You know what I'm saying? And so you have to take that mindset when it comes to any type of experience where you may feel like it's a loss, but understand it's a lesson. Then the last thing, and I think is the most beneficial thing, be patient. Have some patience. You know what I'm saying? Don't be hasty. Don't be trying to skip steps or do any type of navigating around the process or avoid the process. Be patient because when you're developing yourself into the version you aim to be, it's going to take some time. So don't rush or expect instant results. It's not going to work like that. And remember the concept of act now, thrive later. Act now, put forth the action, embrace the process.
Plant the
And
seed.
and I think it's a terminology that I don't know where it comes from, but they say embrace the suck. You know what I'm saying? Early on, things are going to suck. It's going to be hard. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be difficult. It's going to stretch you. It may stress you in some sorts of ways. But if you can embrace those moments and see those things as being beneficial to you, what that's going to do is going to equip you to all the needed and necessary tools to be able to effectively navigate this path and be equipped with the things that you've learned in order to build your future self.
Hey, and I hate when I hear people complain about the time and oh, that's gonna take too long. Or, oh, that's so long. The time's gonna pass anyway. So you
Oh
might as
yeah,
well be doing something beneficial.
and do something that you want to do because the time ain't gonna matter at that point because you're gonna
Exactly.
love what you're
The
doing.
time's gonna move faster when you're doing something that you
Absolutely.
know feels like it's passing quickly when you're doing something that you love. But the time's gonna pass anyway. So you might as well be doing something productive. So with all that being said, man, in summary, in every life endeavor, success often demands a knack for striking a balance between urgent and important, immediate gratification, and lasting rewards. And said just mentioned this with patience, right? Like you gotta balance it. And successful people, know how to prioritize, right? Like, okay, what's urgent and needs my attention right now, and what's important but can wait a little bit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that constant juggle, that
Juggle. Yeah.
constant balance beam, right? And then also, a lot of us, we're in the culture of immediate gratification, especially with social media and Amazon and get it in 2 days, same day, depending on where you live,
Right.
and lasting rewards. Nobody wants to wait now, but to be honest with you, when you actually have to wait, that's when the appreciation grows, right?
Yeah.
Because if you get everything right away, you don't appreciate things. But when you actually have to wait, work hard, be patient, kind of go through the suck, embrace that suck said was talking about. Then once you actually reach that destination or receive that thing, it's much more appreciated.
Yeah.
But by trusting in the abundance the future promises, acting now is an investment towards thriving later, right? And we all know tomorrow's not promised. Anything can happen, but you shouldn't live that way.
Right.
You should live and work and plan as if you got 1,000 years. Well, maybe not 1,000. That's too bad. That was an exaggeration.
Let's just be
Yeah,
realistic.
you know what I mean.
At least about a good
That was a
50
bit.
to
That was a bit
60. You know
exaggeration.
what I'm
But
saying?
anyway, you should plan for the future. Is the point. You
Absolutely,
know what I
man.
mean. You should plan for the future. You shouldn't just live for the day, right? And by trusting in the abundance of the future, right? You realize that the actions you take today, right, the seeds that you plant today will bear fruit tomorrow, right?
Absolutely.
And then life is a progression, a masterpiece in the making, and with every choice we become the architects and the sculptors of our destiny. And that's self-explanatory, right? Life is a progression. It is not static. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It constantly changes, it constantly evolves, and the decisions that you make will have a tremendous impact on, where it will lead you and where it will take you
Absolutely.
and the outcome of the quality of the life you live. So, start today. Take the necessary actions, be accountable, and it'll work out for you. Anything you want to add
Absolutely.
to that said?
Nah, bro. I think that summed it all up, man. Act now, thrive later.
Hey, act
There it
now,
is.
thrive later. But with all that being said, man, y'all know how it go. We greatly appreciate y'all. Everybody who tunes in every Tuesday, watch the videos, all that good stuff we say every single week, but we really do greatly appreciate y'all and all the fans, followers, Kid Nation, all that good stuff. But
Absolutely.
if you don't do nothing else,
Yeah, yeah.
keep it thorough.
Keep it thorough.
And we'll holler at y'all next week.
Till next time.
Deuces.